Committee. It's Tuesday, March 6th, 2018. We're in the first floor conference room at City Hall. We'll go around the table here, introduce ourselves for the viewing public.
Steve Cope, Alderman.
Joe Terry, Director of Public Works.
Nick Dooms, Design Engineer.
Scott Kellogg, Alderman.
Item here first is to review the DPW report. Joe?
So the DPW report was in your packet. As usual, we'll get this published on our city website. I guess a couple of highlights I'd like to mention is that for buildings and grounds, our skating and lowboard hockey ponds have closed for the season just due to the weather conditions. We have been working pretty hard this winter on diseased tree removal from our tree inventory project that began in 2015, and we're making good progress on that. We've done some building maintenance work in the restrooms, in City Hall, the Finance Department, the HR Director's Office, Treasurer's Office. Some of those projects have been ongoing. I'm proud to say that our construction plans for our 2018 projects are complete and in front of our construction crew. We're in the process of reviewing that. We're also in the process of evaluating some of our construction activities and ways to make them more efficient, and so real pleased with that, and I'll keep you updated on that progress. Our 2019 reconstruction projects, the design is going well on that. We had, along with the East Grand project, we had an open house for our 7th Street project. The Washington Street design for 2019 is about 90% complete, and the 10th Street Sidewalk project, the design for that's about 75% complete. Our Quinnell Creek dredging project is complete. That was a very successful project. If you happen to see some of the information that we sent out, it was kind of unique for us. We were able to, connections that our staff had, we were able to get onto the ice by using some of the wooden pad structures that some of the power line contractors have used and were otherwise disposing of. We were able to work with, I think it was Jackson County and Wood County, to help them load those and bring them here. Wood County has some use for them now that we're done with them. And we were able to put those on the ice. We drew the water down so that the ice was sitting on the silt that needed to be removed. Those large timber pads prevented the trucks and equipment from breaking through, and the project really went very well.
Good to hear.
Something a little unusual for us this year was the weather conditions that we've had, the warm spells, have resulted in over 50 catch basin leads freezing out. And so we've had to use our steam boiler, to open those up. Also had a large number of catch basins that were iced over. Those we used end loaders to peel those off. So we had quite a bit of work there. I think we're pretty well caught up. We've had a lot of public inform us if their area is problematic, and that's been good. So I want to encourage the public to continue to make those calls. Sometimes when our staff's out doing those maintenance activities, they're not necessarily looking for other problems. So I've been glad to get those calls. Our West Side Lift Station Force Main project for the river crossing, those bids have been accepted, and construction's expected to begin this spring. That's about all I have that's really noteworthy for the wastewater plant. We do have a request for proposals developed for the wastewater plant for an automated flow control structure. And some of the challenges that the wastewater plant is experiencing results in, the treatment challenges result in poor settling, and that dramatically reduces the effective capacity of the plant and puts the plant precariously close to violating our DNR effluent limits. And so we've been working really hard trying to develop solutions for that. And one of the solutions that was defined early on was a flow control structure. It allows flow to be diverted from certain areas of the plant to others. And our consultants and our staff believe that we'll be able to improve the health of the bacteria in the entire plant once we're able to control some of that. So we'll be looking to get approval from the Wastewater Commission as well as the City Council then to seek proposals for that work. Some other activities for the month. We were introduced to our new Human Resources Director, Dawn Urban. I introduced her to the public works staff over at the garage, wastewater plant, airport, and the engineering department. She's identified several things that are policy items that she feels are in need of updating, and after reviewing them with her, I'm excited to be working with her on some of these initiatives. Attended with the mayor, the RASCA meeting with the folks over at the Centralia Center, and answered a lot of questions to those folks about upcoming projects, different city initiatives, the Centralia parking lot. It was a good opportunity to network with the public there. Our aquatics project is, we're to the point where we are finishing plans and specifications. The project should be shovel ready by the end of this month, and we are still seeking, we've got the city council and the public sector funds are generally there. We're still working with some municipalities to see if there's some interest in partnering with the city on it. We're still seeking some of those private sector funds. We've got a large number of individuals that have made contributions. I don't have the number, but it's certainly hundreds and hundreds of individuals have donated, I think, somewhere around $100,000 in small amounts. We're still hoping that some of our larger philanthropic organizations and larger industrial partners are interested in partnering in the project.
Yeah.
I think that pretty well sums up some of the important activities for the month of February, and we'll get this published on the website tomorrow.
Okay, anybody have any questions on it or anything, any other items? Number 2 then, review and consider approval of the relocation order and right-of-way plat for High Street.
So I will cover that. Just wanted to hand some stuff out to everybody here. I don't know if you got this information or not, but here, I'll pass that your way. So it's there. And then, let's see here. This too. Oops. So, basically, what we've got is the right-of-way on High Street from 12th to 17th. Does not, I guess from when we did our original survey on the project, we found that the right-of-way does not match up. It should line up, the center of it should line up with the 40 line on High Street. And found out that it's kind of offset and maybe even slightly skewed. But so what we were trying to do with it, being that High Street is a collector, we want to give it a little more precedence and take care of the right-of-way issue. Get it so we have a 66-foot right-of-way that is centered right on the 40 line. So what we found with going through the right-of-way plat, you see there, is that in some areas it varies as you go from east to west across High Street from 17th to 12th. Some areas are less than a foot. Other areas are up to 2 feet, maybe a little bit more, where they're everything's kind of generally shifted to the south from where it should be. So the plan is, and we want to extend the right-of-way on the north side, the north right-of-way, extend it further north and acquire property to get the right-of-way where it should be. So there's a table, I believe, in here that kind of breaks it down on a per property basis. But generally speaking, I think given the amount of property that we're taking and the price, we did have it evaluated too for kind of costs that we'd be looking at to acquire the right-of-way. We're looking at around $1.25 per square foot. And given all the right-of-way that's called out in the table there, I think it came to maybe $2,600 is about what we're looking. So it's not too bad. Again, the whole point of all this relocation order, you'll see the form and the right-of-way plat that goes along with it. That's also part of the relocation order. We need approval of that. Before we can negotiate with the property owners and try to acquire that property. If we're not able to acquire all the property with the property owners, we've already got it in our design that the sidewalk is located such that if we don't get anywhere, we can still, go ahead with the project, put this new sidewalk in, and it can, the old right-of-way stays where it is. The sidewalk will still work with where we've designed it. If, however, we're able to work with the property owners and on maybe a per block basis, if we're able to get all the right-of-way that we need, then we'll slide that sidewalk out where it should be with the new right-of-way locations. But in order to do that, in order to go ahead with the next step in negotiating and trying to acquire the right-of-way, we need the relocation order approved, which, like I said, includes the form and the right-of-way plat.
So staff would be looking for a motion to approve the...
Well, I'd move for the relocation order and the right-of-way plat for High Street.
I'll second.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll vote committee. All in favor, respond by aye.
Aye.
Both sides have it. Item 3, review and consider approval of proposals for the sanitary sewer lining work needed for the 8-inch sanitary sewer on High Street between 7th Avenue North and 8th Avenue North.
So again, this is kind of last minute, this information coming in, so I'll pass it out to everyone again. Sit down your way. So we are expecting more proposals. This is what we've gotten so far, but just a little background on it. We've got 18-foot deep sanitary sewer, probably bedrock, probably groundwater that we'll have to deal with. So very expensive to dig it up and to replace it. So what we've proposed is to do sewer lining, which is a pretty economical way of essentially rehabbing the sewer at a much cheaper price. So what we've done is we've gone out and got proposals from we've asked for proposals from 5 different contractors. We've gotten 2 back so far. We're expecting at least a couple more back. But the prices that have come in, I believe one of them came in at $28,000, which is double what the other one was. Terra Engineering, I think, came in at like $14,500, which is a really good price. If we are looking at open cut replacing, digging it up and replacing it, we'd probably be talking in excess of $100 a foot. That low proposal comes in at about $44 a foot. That's a really good price for that, and that's given that it's a smaller project. It's a really good price. Usually, you want to lump in a bigger project to get better, prices from contractors. So this was pleased to see that number. We are still expecting a number from a quote from VisuSewer, who's actually doing a bunch of work up in Marshfield. So we think we can get a better price on mobilization and a better overall price from them than what we see from Terra here. So I'm guessing if we get anything from them, it'll be less than $14,000. But again, this money has been budgeted as part of the project. We'll probably be saving money by doing this. So again, I guess just seeking approval.
So I think the motion here would be to accept the lowest responsible bid for sanitary sewer lining on High Street between 7th Avenue North and 8th Avenue North. And we'll have then that value available for the council meeting.
Yeah. before this council meeting in
Correct.
March.
That's correct.
Any questions, committee, or motion by anybody?
I'll make, let's see if I can afford it right.
I can read it back
Why
if
don't
you
you
want.
read it, yeah.
It'd be a motion to accept the lowest responsible bid for sanitary sewer lining on High Street between 7th Avenue North and 8th Avenue North.
That's my motion.
Second. If there's no other questions, committee will vote. All in favor, respond by aye.
Aye.
Both sides have it. Go on to item number 4. Review request for proposal scope for space needs analysis and master plan for the city garage. Yeah, what do we got here?
So what we have here is
What do we got?
just a little background. The sign shop is currently incorporated in the West Side Lift Station. And that's over by the zoo. The West Side Lift Station is being reconstructed this year, and that building will have the sanitary sewer equipment removed from it. The long-term use for that building is still being evaluated, but there's a desire to have the sign shop staff relocated over by the city garage, both for accountability reasons and flexibility for utilizing that staff for other purposes. Right now, they're in a separate location off campus, so to speak. So if we need some help with a maintenance activity, that's usually not our first go-to staff. In order to accomplish that, we will need to construct some type of structure. Our current city garage is not equipped to handle that activity. There's also a desire to relocate some of the holiday decorations that are in the Saratoga building, also over to the city garage campus, and the police department's expressed an interest in utilizing the Saratoga building for various police-type storage and activities. Before, we have some preliminary architectural drawings that our staff has developed, but before we evaluate what size we need and where we want to put it, we want to make sure that the location is a location that is suitable for a long time. I don't want, the garage was built in the 40s, it's an old facility. With the cost of equipment nowadays, most municipal garages are storing their equipment differently. It's more climate controlled, there's different washing and ventilation assets there, because the cost of the equipment is so high that we need it to last longer. We need to take care of it better, and we have to be able to take care of it better in a manner that doesn't cost more time and effort. So, to make a long story short, in order to review our long-term needs at the garage, as well as anticipate what that campus may look like, whenever it's appropriate to rebuild the city garage, we want to do a needs and space analysis of that facility and determine where a suitable location would be for the sign shop and those activities in the short term, as well as develop a plan, a master plan for the city garage long term. By doing this work now, we'll satisfy this immediate need for our sign shop staff. It'll also serve a long-term need as we look very long-term. This would be a big project. It might be 15, 20, 25 years out. But as we're looking for and working with our finance director and looking for gaps in our bond schedule, we want to be looking 10, 15, 20, 25 years out to try to establish when is the right time to actually propose a project of that scope. This is a budgeted project, and the request for proposal document is ready to be advertised. We'd like to solicit proposals for that work. So that's what I'd be asking for. A motion would be to approve soliciting proposals for our city garage master plan.
Also move.
I'll second that. there's no other questions, committee, or are there? We'll vote. All in favor, respond by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. And item number 5, review the referral list.
Give me just a minute here, I want to jot the motion down, make sure I get it right. All right, our referral list. We can cross off number 8 and number 9. We just discussed those today. Review and consider approval of relocation order of right-of-way plat for High Street, and review and consider approval of bids for the sanitary sewer lining work needed for 8-inch sanitary on High between 7th Avenue North and 8th Avenue North. I do want to give an update on item number 7. It was an item that another alderperson had brought up at the previous Common Council meeting, and that's consider request by property owners at 2621 Lincoln Street for a 38-foot driveway opening. That request is a zoning variance request, and in the zoning ordinance, it transfers the responsibility of hearing a variance, which is generally heard by the Zoning Board of Appeals, to the Public Works Committee. It's a bit unusual, but it is a zoning variance, and so I drafted a letter and sent it to the property owner that includes an explanation of the variance process, the fees involved, the application form, and the things that they would need to do in order to successfully bring a request before the Public Works Committee. If we receive a request from them, then we'll send out some information that would normally be common to those that would sit on the Zoning Board of Appeals, but it wouldn't be common knowledge for those of you sitting on a Public Works Committee, because it's generally not what Public Works does. But suffice to say that if that application is received, by ordinance, the city's obligated to hear it. And so I believe that that item can also be removed from the referral list, because it's not something that the committee can discuss if it isn't an application for a variance. So as soon as the application actually comes, if it does, then it can be heard.
So when the application comes, the zoning commission plus Public Works Commission meet, or is just the Public
Just Public Works. For, again, it's a bit unique. I haven't seen language, ordinance language like what we have for that type of activity. I would normally expect that the Zoning Board of Appeals may require a recommendation from the Public Works Committee or something like that.
Yeah.
But the way the ordinance is written, the Public Works Committee acts as the Zoning Board of Appeals. The Public Works Committee hears the request for driveway
Yeah.
with change,
Yep.
like that. So, so I think we've got all of our I's dotted and T's crossed, and the property owner's been informed, and I can certainly provide the committee members a copy of that letter if you're interested.
Well, as long as they've been notified and we haven't heard back yet, I guess it's okay with the committee. We could take it off the list, and if we hear back, we can put it back on.
Sure.
So 7, 8, and 9 is that?
Yep.
Okay.
Have not received any other specific referrals. I don't know if the committee has any at this time.
Nothing I can think of.
If not, we'll add them as they come in.
And with that, if there's nothing else, we're to item 6, and that's to move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
We have motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, respond by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, and we're adjourned at 6:25 PM.